now driving with the vibe and vibing with the tribe.
I'm a grown ass woman.
What up, it's your boy Troy.
Real shit, hip hop, music, urban, Boston. Oh, that's some iLLbred shit right there.
What up, it's your boy Droy.
Bella Nisa on the mic.
And today, on the iLLbred HooliGang Podcast, we got a friend of the podcast, family of the podcast, LMS Cupped Up family on the podcast. We got Damian King in the building. What's poppin', D? What's good? How you? What's going on, D?
Chilling, man.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. I got a pulse.
That's what's up, man.
Real positive.
I hear that, man. Yo, D, for the people that might not know who you are and what you do, let them know. Who is Damian King?
Damian King was a lot of people. I wear many hats.
I hear that.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Wow.
I'm a reggaeton artist. Been doing it for about 15 years. Originally from Boston. Bounce around a lot. But I'm back here again, and I'm ready to take over, man.
Let me get that microphone right there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yep. And I'm just doing my thing right now. Just keeping music coming out. Trying to stay relevant, man. Because right now the game is like, if you're not fast enough, you're not quick enough, man. They're gonna forget about you.
This is
know
true.
what I mean? So we just trying to stay busy.
We're
trying to stay ready, so we ain't gotta get ready.
There you go. I hear that.
That's the motto.
That's what's up.
So you say you've been in the game for 15 years, and then you stepped out of the game for a little bit, right? So what brought you back?
So I wouldn't say I stepped out. Maybe I've taken a hiatus or two.
Okay.
You know, sometimes when you're in this music thing, like, you got personal stuff going on in your life. Sometimes it keeps you from your passion. But you know, even through the ups and downs, especially the downs, music is like my is like my love. You know what I'm saying?
It's therapeutic for you.
Yeah, so I always find my way back to her. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
And as I've gotten older, I've always resorted to music as, like you said, it's therapeutic.
Yeah, therapy.
I'm not gonna go out to the club. I'm not gonna
Right.
even travel. I mean, music for me is if I'm either in a bad place or in a good place.
Right.
If I resort to music and be productive and constructive,
right.
For me, that's therapeutic. I'd
dope.
rather do that than pretty much anything else. You know.
That's dope.
Yeah, but
Let me ask you this: How big of an obstacle has it been being an artist in Boston? Because you know how our scene is a lot different from other scenes. You know what I mean? How has it been an obstacle coming out of Boston, trying to succeed on all levels and all platforms?
I feel like, you know, being an artist from Boston and being, you know, having that label, at first it's cool because you're like, yo, I'm gonna be the first one to make it out of Boston.
Right.
This and that, I'm gonna put my peoples on, and then you go through, you know, times where you have to get away from Boston and go elsewhere where you're unfamiliar, and you know, when you're in unfamiliar places, you get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Me personally, I've had like mental conversations with myself where like it's like, yo, Papa, you know what? You need to like buckle down. You're gonna be somewhere else. You're not gonna be in a familiar place.
Right.
You're gonna be out of your comfort zone. But that's when you need to like really show who you are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've done stuff in Boston. I've traveled. I'm not gonna say I traveled the world, but I've gone to, you know, different countries, different states, and it's just, you know, it's okay to go out and rep Boston where you're at, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like you're trying to get on.
Right.
If it means you gotta leave home for a little bit, then so be it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't want to be that guy that never leaves
the city.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You
yeah.
have to go. You got to make certain sacrifices.
Beyond hood famous.
Sometimes it's like, sometimes you gotta be away from your family. Sometimes you gotta,
real.
you know, that's what they got FaceTime for. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, it is what it is. You know?
still
Social
can connect.
media, you know, for real, man. So
let me ask you a question. So where do you find most of your inspiration, when you're in Boston or you're out of Boston, when you're being creative?
I would say it's both because
Okay.
Just recently I went to Miami and went to go see my brother Miwe.
Okay. Shouts to Miwe.
I'm actually I'm wearing his hat right now too, so
That's what's up.
if you get this. But I went out there and sometimes it's good to kind of step out of the comfort zone, see what else is going on, see
Right.
what other people are doing. You know, I'm seeing people that are in the industry
Right.
that aren't necessarily where I'm at that point.
Right.
Which means that they're leaving their comfort zone also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, that's what I need to be doing. So I can get inspiration that way. Because
Gotcha.
I'm like, yo, this is people from the industry. They're right here. This is what's going on. I need to take that energy with me back home when I go back home and I brainstorm or whatever, you know, go back to the drawing board. But, you know, I could be home too. And, you know, I get inspired from what I'm hearing, from what people are talking about. Inspiration can just come from anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah,
I could
definitely,
be
for sure.
On the crapper, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? In the shower,
Yeah,
anywhere. You know what
That's
I'm
where you
saying?
come up with some of your
in
best
in
shit.
the car, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended.
You know? So
Yeah.
I could be anywhere. You know, I could be.
Nice.
I could leave from here tonight and feel inspired in some way, and I can carry that over into the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, definitely. Let me ask you, how do you feel about this new genre of artists who coming out and singing like reggaeton? I mean, and they're not your typical reggaeton artists. I'm talking like Drake, Usher, Tory Lanez, all these guys. Like, how do you feel about that?
You know, like, to be honest, like, when you're working on a particular genre for so long, and you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to figure out, let me try to come out this way,
Right.
You know, something new,
Right.
and then when you hear these dudes come out and they just doing something real simple, and you're just like, damn, I'm over here breaking my head.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure any artist has gone through that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's like natural instinct right away, your reaction, but
Right.
it's good because then it just shows me like, dude, this is music. Like you ain't when you're doing something that you love, it shouldn't feel like work.
Right.
So if this 3-letter phrase comes out, dile que tú eres mía. I mean,
Yeah.
dile que tú eres mía. There's not even a 3-syllable word in
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why break your neck or your brain trying to figure something? Just have fun with it. If other people are coming over, crossing over into it, they must see something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
there's something good
Quiet
there.
as kept. I think one of the biggest dudes that's been doing it for a long time and was associated with it, but they never really put it out there like that, especially back in his day, was Akon.
Yeah.
I watched I think I watched the podcast with him. He was talking with Nori.
Yeah.
And he grew up with Puerto Ricans and shit like that. And it was dope to hear these stories that you never used to hear.
It's funny.
Or you
like,
couldn't read enough in the source and shit
I
back
seen
in
a
the
video
day.
with him and Ozuna, the new track.
Yeah.
And I got this new habit where I look at the comments
Uh-huh.
to see what people how
Yeah.
people
The
feel.
feedback.
Yeah.
And people are like, yo, Ozuna le mete en español, and he
Yeah.
sounds so good in Spanish. He sounds better than this person. And in my head, I'm like, damn, but if these people only knew he grew up in New Jersey around a bunch of Puerto Ricans. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, I've heard
Akon.
stuff.
You mean Akon?
Yeah, I've heard stuff
Yeah.
from before
Yeah.
that he's done like in Spanish, and I wasn't too surprised. So I was
Right, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
for
no,
me, I'm
yeah,
like,
for sure,
okay,
for
but
sure, yeah.
this ain't nothing
And,
new.
and I give him shouts to him, shouts to Akon. Like his Spanish is on point.
Yeah.
Cause you know how some of them you could tell when they don't really know Spanish,
Yeah.
like they're
No,
like,
no,
he's
of
giving it a
course.
good try.
No.
But like his shit's on point.
Yeah,
like,
he's legit.
Akon shit's on point, man. Shouts to him.
He's
for
half
real.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, but yeah, that's dope, man. So I mean, coming out, the reggaeton scene from back then compared to now, you know, because it's very different. You have like, you know, trap. You got this. You got
Yeah.
that. How do you look at it, and how making your music today? How would you say it's different, like for you, compared to back when you had the just simple tempo beats and shit like that? Compared to now, you know what I mean, where like you can get.
I feel like the time that I started, I say we because I've been working with, you could say the same people from back in the day. You know, like certain people, you know, certain individuals.
Got your team.
You know, like Miwe, you know, I went to
Right.
go see him, you know, we brothers, you know, like I got my boy Omar, you know, we've been kind of kicking it since high school, you know, since the 2000s. And you know, the music then was one way. It was different than what it is now. But sometimes you hear certain things in the music now that kind of remind you of back in the day too.
Right.
So sometimes it's kind of recycled in a way where they start bringing certain elements from the past that captivated people.
Right.
And they just add a little twist to it. It's just like styles. You see kids with like the Gumby right now, and they think that they're the ones to bring it out.
Nah, yeah,
It's
I
just
got
like
you.
from the 80s and 90s, you know?
Yeah.
You see the Reebok classics, they bring in like the old style looking, but they had a modern twist to it. So, you know, the music changes, it evolves, but at the end of the day, it's music. I mean, a song like that with Drake and Bad Bunny, you know, the chorus is just one line. It's nothing, you know, there's no trigonometry to it. It's just simple. I mean, and back in the day, you hear a lot of the stuff that was real popular. It was all simple stuff, man. Like when you try to, it's not rocket science. You just gotta have fun, you know. You gotta make it sound good. Sometimes it's not what you say; it's how you say it.
This is
you
true.
know?
Right.
You know, Lollipop. You know, like
Yeah.
all simple songs.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't break your head. Some of the most catchiest songs were just, you know, one-liners or one-word phrases, and you know, sometimes nowadays I'm seeing people make up words and stuff like that, you know, metaphors or feelings, and they just turn it into a song. I mean, the beat helps,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The producers are definitely, you know, their quality is up there. But sometimes when you hear an instrumental, sometimes you're like, damn, they didn't really do much either.
Right.
You know, it's just whatever feels right.
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 I learned the ears never lie either. You
This
know,
is true.
as well as the eyes don't. If something sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. Now, speaking of stuff that sounds good, you had this song back in the day, Nobody.
Y'all nobody.
Right, John Nobody. Was out the door. Like, I know a lot of people that were blasting it. That shit, like, it hit the city.
People still tell me now,
to this
like, yo,
day.
that was the track I was
That's the
house
joint.
parties and whatever.
What inspired you for like that track right there? What was the inspiration for that? What made you make that song? What was the whole process of it?
Well, like my thing with music, when I work on my music, I like to do stuff that for me is catchy. A lot of the songs that I enjoy are songs that I remember because they're catchy in one way or another. And I want people to have the same feeling when they hear my music, you know. That was just pretty much it. That was really my first record as a solo artist at the time. And the chorus was everything. And you know, when I started doing music, I was kind of labeled as like a Puerto Rican Sean Paul, so I kind of had a little Jamaican flow and stuff like
definitely.
that. And
I think I was one of the people that actually threw you in that bracket. I said, damn, he sound just like Sean
It used to
Paul.
be frustrating too, because I'm like, damn, I don't want to be identified as that.
Right.
Run with it, Dinky.
But I'm
Run
like,
with
you know
it.
what? I ran with it, and as the years went by,
man.
you know,
That's interesting
The
that
flow
you
evolved.
say that.
You know what I'm saying? But people still like it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, people will still tell me now, like, yo, I follow your stuff till this point because of this song.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I
That was
look
your
back
breakout.
on it,
That was your
like
breakout
my
moment.
first song,
dude.
so it's like, damn,
Dead.
must be doing something right.
Dead honest.
Yeah.
That was, I remember that because it played first. Kiko, you know Kiko. He played it, and I was like, "Yo, who's that?" And he was like, "Dinky Long, like artist." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, cool." And then somebody else played it. I think somebody else was playing it on a video or something from like a Puerto Rican Day Parade or one of those big events.
Yep.
Like,
Nice.
everything was crazy back then. And then I heard it again.
Good times.
And I kept hearing it in different people's cars and shit.
Yeah.
And people were just playing it. I'm like, oh shit, this nigga might have a hit. Like, you know, that's
He
a
had a hit.
certified hit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when everybody's playing that shit in different places, I'm like, all right, cool. He got a little, he got the wave popping.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for like so much music after that.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why I was like, yo, we gotta get him up, man.
No, that definitely, man.
Definitely.
It definitely did it. It opened a lot of doors for me.
Nice.
And because the actual song is in English and in Spanish,
Yeah.
that kind of opens more doors.
Did you have any majors coming at you? Anybody off that one single? Like, did you have any major looks?
As far as like distribution, no.
Okay.
I would tell the artists that are starting nowadays, you know, this is a business. It's good to educate yourself on the different aspects of the business. It's not just making music. Sometimes, you know, it's about networking. It's about, you know, presentation.
Definitely.
Marketing, advertising. I mean, and then even nowadays, there's so many different streams of income that you can, you know, make.
Yeah.
Don't forget dedication.
Yeah, dedication, obviously. I mean,
Stay
it's just,
with it. Don't think you're just gonna start a
You
record
can't
label.
buy dedication.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Don't think you're just gonna say something and start something and be tired of it in 2 days, because that's definitely not how you blow up.
No, you definitely. There's so many different ways to work it. So, at the time, I didn't have any, as far as distribution, like getting it on a major platform and distributing it that way,
Right.
like a major distributor. But shows wise, yeah.
Okay.
I was opening
Nice.
for a lot of people.
A lot of people.
A lot of
Shit,
yeah.
artists in the industry. Like, just like on the reggae side, I remember doing a show in Club Lido's for Capleton.
Wow,
Okay.
that's major.
And, you know, sadly, at the time, I didn't even know who that was. I didn't know who that was. And when I was opening up, you know, it was like a different crowd for me.
Right.
Everybody's like,
West Indian.
yo,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
how are they gonna take me doing this type of music where I'm not necessarily Jamaican,
Right.
and you know, some people might take offense to it.
And a lot of people don't know that neither.
Exactly.
That the reggae has gone. It went to
Yeah.
Panama.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
that's where reggaeton really
Exactly.
comes from.
Yeah.
You know, by way
It's
of
like a derivative
Panama.
of
yeah,
reggae, yeah.
So how did they
definitely.
respond to you at that show?
I mean,
Did they
the weed
embrace you?
the weed they were smoking must have been good. I mean, nobody was booing, but you know, it was
He
just
said
like,
nobody
wow.
was
Like,
So your performance was good.
Yeah, no, it
and
was
the
good.
weed was good.
yeah. I mean, I probably caught contact.
There you go. That nigga was smoking. He was like, I'm tired of this shit.
For real.
And at that time, you was performing as Dinky Law,
As Dinky Long, yeah.
and then now you're performing
As
as
Damian King. I changed my name a few years ago, maybe like between 4 and 5 years ago. In 2013, I lost my father.
Oh man, sorry to hear that, bro.
Thank you. That's what, like, one of the little hiatuses I took. You know, took a little break. It's not easy losing a parent, somebody that you're really close to. My father actually used to be like my go-to guy when I'm like, yo, pa, does this sound right? You know,
Right.
You know, working on music and stuff. And after, you know, a few months in, I was talking to my boy Omar in New York, and he was one of the dudes that would always call me and be like, yo, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, you know, you're gonna keep doing your thing. Always gave me that motivation that sometimes, you know, you have like that self-doubt. You're like, damn, you know what am I gonna do now? You know what I mean? And he always, you know, he kept
Cheered you on.
Yeah, he cheered me on, man. He was like, you know, he was like a great cheerleader. I mean, no offense, you know,
Yeah.
like, you need
man.
that sometimes.
Yeah.
You need support, and
Yes.
sometimes you get it in places and from people that ain't necessarily there with you physically.
Right.
And you know, cause he's in New York, I'm in Boston, and he was like, yo, D, you know what? I think that as an artist, you've evolved, you've gotten older.
Right.
And you know, he's told me that he always letting people hear my stuff, and he's like, yo, you know, females is like, yo, who's that? He sounds good. You know, what's his name? I want to look him up. And he'd be like, yo, his name is Dinky Long, this and that. But, you know, and they're like, what's his name? You know, like, so he's like, yo, D, you know, I'm gonna make a recommendation. You know, I don't want you to take offense or nothing like that.
Right.
But he's like, you know, it's my opinion. Maybe you should switch it up, change your name. You know, and we're not gonna come up with nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy. But you know, let's think about it. And then he actually came up with the idea. He's like, yo, you should just go by your first name. And since they called your father King, you should honor your father. And
Yeah,
that as
when
your
I
last
heard
name.
the renaming of it, like I think it was Ace. He was like, yeah, you know, Damian King. I was like, is that I thought you were like a bachata artist and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, but he was like, nah. I'm like, oh, I know him. I'm like, yeah, that's fam. I'm like, yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah. That's crazy.
You know,
man.
because I mean, there's artists out there now. I mean, they've always been artists with like a 2-name type of name, you know, like Trey Songz or this and that, you know. So he's like, you don't even go that route, maybe, you know, go that route. So I was like, you know, whatever, you know, like, let's try it, you know. And at least when I put my face out there or my music out there, and I see that Damian King, you know, it just helps me realize, like, I'm honoring my pops, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, keeping his memory alive. And when people ask, it sounds interesting to them. They're like, wow, you know, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I was thinking like, damn, I don't want nobody thinking like running with some
Right.
gangs or
Yeah. He's a Latin king.
Yeah.
It's in honor of his father, y'all.
You know? Yeah, I mean, thankfully nobody's come up to me asking me nothing like that. But, you know, it's all about family at the end of the day, you know?
Definitely.
And even those who are not here physically, you know, we can still, you know, honor them and make them proud, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, for sure. Now, speaking of parents and speaking of music, where are your parents from? Where are you, like, what is Damian King? What's your makeup?
So, Pops was from Puerto Rico. He was born out there.
Okay.
My mom's from Puerto Rico as well, but she's born like right down the street at Boston Medical, I think. You know what I mean?
So mom's is Rican from Boston.
From Boston, and my father's from
born in
Bayamon, yeah.
Bayamon, Puerto
Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's what's up,
Puerto
man.
Rico.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, it's funny because I went there. I don't remember. They took me there when I was 2 years
Okay.
old. And my first time back after that was about 19 years later. I was 20. Damn, I haven't been in high school for a while. So if I was 2 plus 19, I was like 21, 22 years old, you know? I went with Midway and a few of the guys. We went for like some show out there. But that was my first time back in like almost 20 years, you know? And I've been back almost every year ever since. I haven't been there in a couple years, especially with the hurricane from last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't as easy to get there, but
Right.
but I've gone there a handful of times. And
Have you
know,
ever performed there in Puerto Rico?
No, you know what? We actually went for a show
Yeah.
during Thanksgiving week. Actually, we spent Thanksgiving out there, and we were supposed to do a show somewhere. We went. I don't know what happened. It was at this club called The Noise in Viejo San Juan.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. This was like over 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. And but I went out there. It felt good being out there for a show.
Right.
We still went to the spot. It was lit. I just don't remember performing for some reason.
He doesn't remember.
Yeah.
He's getting high.
But we've done that particular year that I went. I was able to work with a producer out there who was at a place called Pichadera Studios, and that's, he was working with Yankee at the time, and that kid, I forget the kid's name.
Was an artist?
Miguelito.
Okay.
The kid that was like rapping and stuff.
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah.
So I remember going to the studio there and seeing like the plaques on the wall and pictures and
Yeah.
stuff. Like that was pretty cool. You know, it was a good experience.
Definitely.
You know,
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. When we come back, we'll have more with Damian King. Y'all stay right there.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Damian King, and I'm right here vibing with the tribe on the iLLbred HooliGang Podcast. What up, Troy? What up, niece?
What up? It's your boy Droy, and we're back on the iLLbred HooliGang Podcast. We got Damian King up here. Once again, man, just crazy knowing and seeing each other for so long, man, and not knowing, you know what I mean, that we had so many friends in common and business, you know, friends in common. That's wild. Now,
the correct term is mutual friends.
Mutual associates as well. Tell me, and speaking of which, we got a major LMS cupped up. You're in the family. We're in the family. Somos familia. How did you come about connecting with Ace and the LMS movement?
Man, I'm a barber.
Correct.
I own and operate a barber shop in Hyde Park. Originally started cutting hair in JP. So Ace, when I started in the Hyde Park location, Ace just came in one day out of nowhere. He lived like down the street from the shop, and he got in my chair, start cutting him. We start talking. We're having regular conversation. Kept coming a few more times. You know, we start opening up a little bit, letting him know what I do.
Right.
Then he's telling me what he does.
Right.
We just clicked from the get.
Nice.
You know, and Ace is a really good dude. Like,
Hell
that dude's family. Like,
Right.
I haven't even known him for not even 2 years, bro.
Right.
But that's my guy.
You got a good spirit.
Like if we driving right now,
Yeah.
and we see somebody beating his ass, I'm gonna be like, yo, pull over.
We all getting out.
You know what I mean?
That person's getting fucked up.
For real.
Then they getting cups.
Don't fuck with Ace.
That's it.
Yeah, for real.
Don't fuck with the fam.
For real.
And just talking to him and seeing what he's doing. When you genuinely see people, you know, like, you know, do their thing,
Right.
You know, trying to win.
Yeah.
You want to do everything you can to support them.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I stay like copping bottles from him.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
for his drinks.
That's how my cousin Juan.
You know, he
felt
comes to the shop. It's like one hand wash the other.
Yeah,
You know
man,
what I mean?
for sure.
And he's a really good dude, man. I can't wait till he pops up. He better pop up. He better not stop.
He's all right. Ace will be in the building.
He'll be
here.
For sure.
So let me ask you a question, Damian.
Dale.
Name something that you believed in before that you may not believe in now.
Something that I believed in
Before that you don't believe in now.
It's like an ill haiku from Belanice. She be coming up with these haikus sometimes.
You know what?
Because
I have a weird way of answering the question.
no, answer it however.
I'm gonna bring up an experience. Well, you know, when it comes to the music,
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, I was doing a lot of the English, Spanish with the Jamaican accent. You know, just having fun because that's all I knew.
Right.
My first language, personally, is English.
Right.
It's not Spanish.
Right.
I understood Spanish, but I didn't speak it in response to my parents or my grandparents or whatever. So I felt it was my duty to represent, as I know I'm not the only one like that. So I got to represent those people as well. So I'm doing all I know, you know. And when I was showing people, producers, engineers, my music at that time when I started, you know, they was like, "Yo, papi, esto no hacemos esto en Puerto Rico. We don't do this type of thing. You got to be all Spanish, and we don't do that." And as time went by, I started hearing dudes in PR doing that.
Right.
What I was doing already.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? Like, you know, you could take advice from people. You know, take it like with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
then that's the important part.
My thing is like, yo, it don't say it in the Bible that you can't do reggaeton. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure. You was talking about that.
You can
though.
take advice from people and stuff like that, but it's like, you know, at the end of the day, you just gotta do you. Sometimes you gotta take a chance.
Yeah.
Sometimes people aren't gonna necessarily
Embrace
it or support you right from the get.
Right.
But all it takes is, like, you're all you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, before you probably think I need like a whole camp, I need an army.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? Just you're all you need. All it takes is one person. All it takes is one thought, one idea, and you just go with it, man.
Yeah.
People don't like it, then you do something else.
That's real. That's real
it.
shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real shit.
And I think that's with anything in life. It don't gotta be music. It could be whatever idea you got for a career, or that, you know, it could be the same kind of career that everybody else is doing, but you want to do it this way. You know what I'm saying? If you look around, man, everything is different. Everything is like you know, you look at the main idea is one thing, but the way that they did it is this way.
Right.
The way that they did it is that way.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, you look at a lot of
It's
artists
mad.
that have taken the reggaeton lane and their brand and ventured off. Don Omar.
yeah.
He was the Don Omar, you know, the Don Omar that we knew, but then he went off on that, I call it like the Brazilian branch off.
Yeah.
Like he was in Brazil doing a lot of samba
Fast and
based.
Furious.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did that, and
It sounded good.
Even Tego had his, you know, roster moments after his reggaeton.
Yeah.
So you have to evolve as an artist.
Yeah,
you definitely
yeah.
have to evolve.
You
You
gotta
can't
try
stay the
different
same
things.
person forever.
You can't eat rice and beans every
Right?
day.
Yeah. Nah.
Yo, well,
hey, fuck that. You can eat rice and beans.
I seen a question. I heard a question in the video with Ace. They asked him, "What would you eat every day for a year, or something like that?"
Yeah. He said lasagna.
He said lasagna. Okay, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have picked lasagna. I would have
He
picked
said
rice and
lasagna.
beans.
Yeah, that was weird for me. I can't understand a lasagna.
real.
Like you got everything in the world, and you're gonna fucking eat lasagna relentlessly.
For real.
Come on. Nah, that's dope, man. Yeah, man, dope, man. When we come back, we're gonna have you answer the iLLbred questionnaire. You heard?
We'll be back.
Y'all stay
We
right
ready.
there.